Jerry one time. This is how we
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Saturday. Happy Black History Month. We still got a few days left. Last week we named February Black Anniversary because it's the month we celebrate, but we know we celebrate 365, 24/7. So happy Black Anniversary to you as well. My name is Kimberly Holmes Ross from Evanston Cradle to Career, where we partner with over 40 organizations to make Evanston the most equitable place it can be. So we are here this morning. I want to first thank everyone for wishing me happy birthday last week. I appreciate that. So thank you so much. And then just full transparency, you guys see I'm not in my regular spot. My lighting's a little off, but just full transparency. I'm in a hospital in Jersey this morning with my daughter. So I really appreciate all the prayers and positive vibes and positive energy that everyone has been sending us. So thank you. We are able to broadcast from anywhere in the world because we are on our favorite platform, Radio La Difference, with our super producer, Mr. Mann. Good morning, Mr. Mann.
Good morning, Kim. We're going to keep you in our prayers.
Thank you so much. And of course, we're here with our advocates. So good morning, advocates.
Good morning, Miss Kim.
Good morning. Good morning. So, all right, I had a little moment, so thank you. So this morning, here we go. We are here to talk about the children. So I'm gonna ask you to stop, share this video. We're gonna be talking about some important stuff this morning. We have members from both school boards, District 202 and District 65, who are Evanston Cradle to Careers community partners. They are in our quest, and they're all in our quest and search for education, equity in education. I have worked with them both. They are both fantastic. But instead of me telling you all about them, I'm going to have them introduce themselves and tell them what's happening on their respective boards. And of course, ladies first. So good morning, Monique.
Muted. There we go. Well, I said good morning to you, Kim, first. And mother to mother, I know how we must continue to do the work, but I also know how hard this is, right? It's hard, it's exhausting, and we keep going. So you are in my heart. Good morning. I made it. I have been asking Kim for such a long time, to try to get me here. She's like, I'm going to get you. But Evanston, as we know, has so many great things to talk about and to offer. So I'm just grateful to be here. Of course, I serve on the best high school board on this side of heaven, and that's Evanston Township High School. I love my high school. It is such a privilege to be able to get our students ready for the next of whatever that is for them. So I'm deeply honored to be here and to speak about everything that we are trying to do. It is so difficult to meet the needs of this very dynamic and diverse community we all love, but we are doing our best and we won't stop. We will not give up. So I'm here to share all that goodness with you during my time. Thank you.
And we can't wait to hear all that goodness.
Yeah.
We hear the good stuff that's going on, because we know there is some really good stuff going on. Good
Right.
morning, Sergio.
Buenos dias, bonjour, and good morning to everybody. I'm Sergio Hernandez, and Kim, thank you for having me, and Monique for the invite as well, and our advocates here. Again, I'm Sergio Hernandez Jr. I am the first Latin Board president in District 65 School Board. I'm one of the first elected Latinos, actually the first I share that distinction with my colleague, Rebecca Mendoza, but our first Latinos elected here in Evanston. We've had a mighty Evanston Latino community for quite a bit. And it's always good to have representation and a diverse voice. And the beauty of being in the District 65 school board is that we have one of the most diverse boards in the North Shore. So I'm very, very proud to be part of it. And as we work in collaboration with 202 to ensure that all our children have equitable access to the resources they need in order to succeed in our community and beyond. So it's an honor to also be here with Monique, who's again a lifelong Evanstonian. She has her family history here, and happy to really try to make have success in regards to providing those pathways and guaranteeing and normalizing success for all of our students, in particular most marginalized students and families here in this community. So happy to be here to share our vision, some of the work we're doing in D65, but also our hopes, right, as we work together with 202 and other institutional partners to, again, create equitable access, and with Cradle, who again brings us all together to ensure that all our students and families have equitable access to the resources they need.
Well, we're all better together, right? So we are happy to have you both here. I'm going to turn it over to Ty. I know she has some questions, as well as Amber, and then we're going to get back to you guys and see what your hopes for the future for these boards are. So Ty?
Well, good morning and buenos dias. I have two children that are in the dual language program, so I enjoy learning Spanish. They are teaching me everything. So buenos dias to you and everyone on this call. So my name is Taishia Nix. I am a District 65 graduate, King Lab, shout out to King Lab, and also class of 1999 from Evanston Township High School. So I have been able to grow and learn here. I've raised some of my children. I have quite a few. Some of my children in District 65 and 202, and have been able to really learn and be a recipient of some of these good things that we're talking about. But as a young mother, a Black woman, a minority, all of those things, how do you explain why school boards are important, like, to our population, young mothers, teen moms, working parents? How do we explain to them why school boards are important and why they should be voting and participating in this process? And we can start with Monique.
Okay. Well, I happen to think that local elections are the most important elections there are, right? And I really think that school board elections are critical because it speaks to the future of our town and how well we take care of our students, right? And so school board members and school boards as a whole are equally responsible for the success of our students achieving. It doesn't just rest on the shoulders of our superintendent and in the classroom. See, school boards can do one or two things. They can support and create policies that create outcomes for students to feel like they belong and that they can achieve, or they can create barriers and tension and destruction. And when we do that, sometimes we don't think outside of ourselves and we only think about our agenda and what we're trying to push and so forth. But there are 3,000 plus students at ETHS that are looking at us and that rely on us to make the right decisions and to act right. So it is critical that anyone who is considering not just, being on the school board, but any office or position understands that we're doing it for the people, not for ourselves, right? And so you know, we can have our own values, we have our own outlooks, we come with our own perspectives and our lens. You know, that's true. That's, you know, that comes with an individual. So we come with that. But I'm one of 7. And I represent, first and foremost, the most important stakeholder in this entire agenda is the student. And so if I'm not thinking about that all the time in every decision I make, every comment I make, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable to receive, if I'm not thinking about that, then I'm not doing the job of a school board. So it is critical that not only that you understand how important this is, because we do set policy and direction, we set goals. So we can say that student achievement is important or not. We can say that equity is a priority or not. So if you get 7 individuals on a school board that does not believe that equity is important, it won't be a priority. If you get 4 on a school board versus 3 and say that equity is not a priority, the vote won't swing towards it being a priority. So it's important that that everybody understands that, not to mention your money is needed for us to run the schools and to educate our students. You pay for this. To make it real, your tax dollars pay for this. It is the largest percentage of our revenue, right? So you allow us to do this work, you should hold us accountable for doing the work. And then you should also be able to have access to those that you put on the school board. It's not okay for people to be on the school board and you don't know who they are, or you can't reach out to them, or you don't, you know, hear them or see them or anything like that. I think that's critical. So understand that school boards are equally responsible for the success of student achievement. Understand that a vote for understanding that school boards are important absolutely means that you are saying that students are critical. If you don't understand that, then you're saying that students are not. And so it's just very important to understand the impact that school boards make on the future of our children. And that's just a few.
And before Sergio goes, I just really appreciate those comments, Monique, because I think a lot of people think school boards are for administration.
Yeah.
And for teachers. And they're not. They're for students, and they're here to make sure that our students are okay. So I really appreciate that clarity. So if you don't know, now you know. They're not there with the administration at the top of mind.
Right.
So thank you.
Right. Well, and Kim, you know, I will say that, of course, the superintendent is our only employee. And so we can make it difficult for him to do his job, or for her to do her job. We can make it extremely difficult. And when we do that, it leads to bad outcomes for our students. So there's touch points along the way. That's why it's so important to know who you're putting on the board.
Yeah, and I just want to, again, everything that Monique said, and I have very little to add, but what I do, you know, in regards to what you're specifically talking about, Taishia, you know, for our families who, again, who are maybe single moms, or again, are working, you know, there's so much to, you know, board business is there's quite a bit of work that we do. And there's a lot to keep up with if you can keep up with it. Part of our responsibility as a school board is to ensure that we have communications policies that ensure that our community at least understands some of the business that we're doing on their behalf. I know at District 65, we try to put out what's called the Fast Five, just to kind of keep folks attuned to what's going on in regards to the decisions that we make and really what's going on in schools. So we're really trying to make enough to communicate with families through our Fast Five emails. You know, I really just believe in ensuring that systems are responsive to our families. It's critical, right? And part of the work that Cradle to Career does is when, you know, coordinating systems and institutional partners in order to meet those needs of community members. So I know, we've asked our superintendent to since I'm a big family community engagement advocate, and as Monique said, it's critical that our families ensure that they're informed as to what we're doing, and that the people that are on the school board reflect their values, right? For a while, I think we've had folks in school boards, and this is across the country, not just in this community, where again, those are folks who have the means and the time to be able to be part of a school board and do school board business. So our work is to, I think, as a community, to ensure that we have representation that's broad, that represents all aspects and all segments in our community, and ensures that, again, every voice, be it our immigrant communities, be it our historically Black communities, that there's folks at the table that reflect the people that we're serving, and ultimately our students and families within our school districts. So again, that's another reason to really pay attention to local elections, and specifically board elections, because you want a diverse voice. You don't want folks who, again, I'm happy to have folks who make $250,000 sit with me. They have a finance job and they go on vacations to Europe. That's great. But we need our voices here in those boards as well. Our Latino voices, our Black voices, our Haitian immigrant voices. Again, we need to be at the table, because the decisions that are made at the school board impact our children and our families. And again, we're serving you because you're paying for it through your tax dollars, and we need to be accountable to you.
And those are a lot of tax dollars,
Yeah.
a lot of tax dollars. And so I do love the Fast Five. And I really encourage you guys, if you don't get it because you don't have a student there, I'm hoping they'll tell us a way you can sign up for it or you can receive it, because it is fantastic. I haven't had children in the school districts for a long, long time. But I'm still an Evanstonian, so I'm paying attention. Because not only do we want the best for our children, we want to see what's happening with our dollars. So we'll have Sergio tell us where we can sign up for that Fast Five. I'm going to let Amber go ahead and ask her questions. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm so happy you both are joining us. I'm a Evanston Township graduate, class of 2000, turn of the century. And I love Evanston, I have a passion for Evanston, and that's why I'm a part of the Evanston Cradle to Career Advocates for Action 2.0. I feel like Monique kind of touched on this question that I'm going to ask already, but Sergio, maybe you might. I know the students, of course, are the most important part of your why, but is there a particular issue that motivates you to want to serve on the board?
So for most of my life, I've been a bilingual educator, 25 years, and I've taught in Chicago public schools in the western suburbs. I've always gone to where the need is, not where the money is, right? Because I really believe in community and I really care, but that wherever I live, that it needs to be the best place possible. There needs to be access to resources for everybody, not just for myself, but for my neighbors as well. And so for me, one of the big issues is ensuring that we continue to implement the policies and systems change that we've embarked upon as both school districts, 202 and District 65. And I believe that 202 has led in this work, and we're kind of just following along and trying to catch up. But I really think when we think about systems change, when we think about the historical opportunity gaps to access to resources, to academic resources, and now social emotional learning, right, is critical. And particularly now that after the pandemic, when again, it's shown us and exacerbated a lot of the issues that some of our most marginalized families have had. It's critical that we continue the equity work and implementing it, because it's going to take time. We've put forward some strategies in regards to really addressing our core curriculum to ensure that children are ready to are at grade level reading when they get to ETHS. That has not been the case. So one of the promising things that we're seeing is that in our early childhood centers, which again, Evanston Cradle to Career has done some great work working with our providers across the community, is that we've closed the racial predictability gap there, right? So we had 31% of kiddos who were kindergarten ready, which means they have great gross motor skills, social emotional skills, as well as early literacy in math. And now in 21-22, 71% of our students are kindergarten ready. So it's a dramatic change. So now what we want to do is then we're in the middle of changing our adopting a new curriculum that can build on that. So little by little, it's going to take time as we change our curriculum to support that success and normalize that success. I see us in a couple of years making sure that we'll be closing that racial predictability gap and academic outcomes, along with making sure that our students feel safe in their schools and that we have a culture where students and families can walk into our schools and feel welcome. So for us, if a child doesn't feel welcome and if they don't have their basic needs met, I, as a teacher, know, and I've seen it's going to take me twice or 5 times the work to be able to educate them. So whatever we can do to alleviate that as a school system, but also in partnership with our partners institutionally to provide wraparound services, is gonna make an impact as we implement systems change across both school systems.
Thank you. Monique, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes. Well, he said everything. And the uniqueness about Evanston is all that transfers to ETHS, right? They're just older and bigger when they get to us. And so we have such a short time to get them ready. So that they can go on and start to become whomever they think they want to be, right? And so it is critically responsible that we build on everything District 65 is doing. That when they come to Evanston Township, I'll back up and say the other unique part about this, and this is where I have an issue with a school not being in the 5th Ward, is that no matter where you go to school at District 65, whatever neighborhood you go to, you're going to meet people you've never crossed at ETHS. And that creates some tension, especially if we have students from the 5th Ward that have been bused all their lives since they were in kindergarten. Their first school experience is getting on a bus and going to somebody else's neighborhood. And then all of a sudden, we're at ETHS, right? And so we have to figure out how to make sure all our students feel like they belong. And Sergio knows me so well, and I love Sergio to death. But this is an issue that I have, which is why I say these are all our children. They don't just go away when they come to 202. If you've been bused since you were in kindergarten to a neighborhood that does not reflect you or one that you can't identify with, and you go to ETHS and we still have not figured out how to create an environment of belonging, by the time you leave ETHS, what are you leaving with? And so it is critical that we make sure that we are preparing our high school students, Lord, for the distractions that racism has created in our community, right? And so we try really hard to make sure our students are feeling like ETHS belongs to them, that, we're equity champions, but if they don't feel like they belong, all that equity work is for naught. And so it's critically important at this state right now, Amber. We are concerned about our students feeling safe, not just when they're in the building, because we know that they have told us that they feel safe at Evanston Township. It's when they walk to Evanston Township, when they get on the bus and get off and come to Evanston. So we have to make sure that our efforts are not, I would say, constrained by the walls of that building, that we have to partner externally to make sure that our high school students are being supported in the community as well as inside that building. We have to hire right. We need to make sure that if teachers are helping us figure out how to address the literacy goal at Evanston Township High School, and there are some that are more successful than others, then we need to know what's in that magic over there so we can pour it over everybody else, because it can happen. We can get our students ready before they leave ETHS. We can do that, but we need all the right ingredients, right? We need our students well. Overall, our students are struggling. It's not just Black students that are struggling or brown students. It's not just BIPOC community that's struggling. White students are struggling too. They just struggle different. And so the well-being and the mental health of our students is so important right now. And for us, we have to shift with what our students need. And right now they need to feel safe in their community and at their high school. And they need to know that their mental wellness is a priority for us. We will continue to do the equity work. You know, we will continue to call out disparities in the opportunity and academic gaps. We will do that. And we will continue to break that apart. But if our students are not well, then they're not going to receive all the work that we're trying to pour into them. So that's it, Amber. It's complicated, but if we just stop trying to overthink it, then I think we can figure it out.
I just want to again echo that it's at the core of what we're doing, and in many schools across the country. But I think Evanston leads in this, is that again we're really prioritizing relationship building. Again, until you have established a trusted relationship, then all of the other things can fall like dominoes, right? Academic achievement, self-confidence, collaboration in a community, right? And I know, again, the pandemic has taught us this, and this is how we have to view education now, is that you don't just try to chase test scores. You now have to do strategies and build relationships in order to be able to get the test scores. Treat the systems and not the symptoms. We can get rid of the symptoms if we change systems. So it's critical that we do that, and I think 202 and 65 are, as well as the Cradle to Career, we can enjoy the partnership, and that's what we're here to do.
And thank you for lifting up mental health and good mental health and mental health wellness. We know that is a big part of making sure our students, are well and can receive all that we have to give them. We want to thank our Facebook family for watching us. I see Rolinda and Gwen and Miss Betty, of course, Joanne, Gina's here. Welcome, everyone. And of course, our Radio The Difference family for watching. We appreciate you guys, as we do every week. Before we get off the air, we do want to, there was a big joint board meeting, as you guys, I think, have annually. And this one was really exciting because you guys are talking about a shift. And anytime we talk about a shift and a change for, the betterment of our students, we are always glad to hear it. So I hope would you guys both just talk a little bit about that meeting and a little bit about what your boards are looking at as we move forward.
And we're looking to expand. Yeah. We're again, absolutely, Monique. I think what we're doing as a board is we as I said earlier, we want to move. We want to prioritize systems change, practices, right, strategies. How are we? We want to start evaluating any strategies that we're utilizing around social emotional learning as well as academic learning to evaluate how well it's making an impact on our students. We're not going to throw away any literacy. Like, we're going to still keep track of reading and math, but what we're doing is we're expanding how we measure children. Like, I'm tired of just hearing about reading and math. Both boards want to hear, okay, so how are children doing social emotionally? Do they feel like they belong? Do they feel, what do prospects look like in regards to graduation and what they want to do with their lives and careers? How are they collaborating together to problem solve for our community? Those are the things that we want to hear. How are our teachers building relationships? Those are measures that I think that expand, not just narrow. Again, moving beyond the narrow scores that we were trying to chase. we really expand how we measure success in both our school districts. So excited about, again, looking at strategies. I was excited about the AVID work that both schools, the middle school is going to, again, through our AVID work, is going to prepare our students who are in that program to smoothly transition into the high school. So that's exciting. So, there's some really exciting work that's happening that I would love to continue to do on this board.
Yeah, I think Kim, it was exciting because it's been very frustrating for us. And to see those numbers, none of us are excited about that, right? And I know I said that it doesn't excite me to hear about the fact that the high school has a literacy lab. I appreciate and I respect that because, like I said, we're meeting our children where they're at, and that's partnering. We're able to do that. But I would love for the day where that doesn't exist in high school. And so I think all the both districts and our school board members are frustrated because we know that we are trying and putting in efforts. We are doing things differently, like AVID. And yet we're still seeing this slow turn, but we're hopeful. And I think for Sergio and I, who have, Sergio, I think you're the longest standing member on your board. I'm not quite that on mine. Some folks have been there forever, but, we do this not because we're getting much of anything, except the satisfaction that our children will be able to read, which will open up doors for them and allow them to do so many things. And for me, literacy, it's like that. Kim, we talk about this at Cradle all the time. It is that basic. And if you don't have it, it's that disruptive, it just changes your entire outcome if you cannot figure out how to build your literacy. And so it is our responsibility to make sure that we do the best that we can in doing that, and we do better than we think we can, so that our students can move through both districts and into our community ready to do and take on the positions that we're currently occupying, right? None of us will be here, in the next few years. We're creating a pathway for generations behind us. And so the work that we're doing now, we're hoping will lead and impact the future. And that's why it's critical. That's why we were full of excitement that night, and energy, because we want to get this right. And we definitely want to allow our new administrators, new superintendents, to be in there and take a fresh look at it and say, okay, now, let's do some things different. And I know that's what we're seeing at 65 and 202 is Dr. Campbell is at the very beginning, and he has some great ideas. And he's pouring the truth serum all over the board. I mean, he's telling us, like, this is what we're dealing with, and these are who they are. So we know who our students are as well. So nothing but great things coming forward, because we won't give up. We won't stop. We won't stop.
There was a lot of hope in that meeting. It felt hopeful. So
good.
Yeah, I was really excited about that. And with that, it's so important now. You see in this time we've had how important it is for you guys to get out and vote, and put people on the school board who you want to represent you, our children. It's really important. I'm going to ask Monique to tell us when voting day is, so you guys can make sure you get out there and do it. I believe early voting. I don't know if you guys are on the same day.
March 20th is early voting.
March 20th. Please vote early. Please vote early. March 20th, just right around the corner, right? Do your homework, talk to people. If you can't attend the forums, just talk to people, and and just vote. I really just vote. That's it. That's most important. And speaking to my Black community, I will tell you that there is I would say, a vibe out there that we don't show up and we won't show up. And so I'm speaking directly to you because I'm telling you that decisions are being made about our children. And we need to make sure that we have a voice or at least have a vote. If you don't agree with anything Sergio and I have said, it doesn't matter. Just show up and vote. Show up and vote, because vote is power. And when you vote, then you're recognized, and then show up to the school board meetings, because when you enter that space, you change the entire atmosphere.
Absolutely.
The entire atmosphere. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So that's early voting, March 20th. I think, and then election day is April 4th. Okay.
April 4th is election day. Yep.
Yes. So
that's during spring break. So
okay.
that's why it's important that you make a plan before spring break.
So make a plan, come on out and vote. It's so important. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Sergio, for being with us this morning. I know it took us a minute, Monique, but we're here. So thank you so much. And right after that board meeting, that was just this past Tuesday. It just felt right. It just felt like a great time to have you both here. Again, we're all better together. So we appreciate you guys coming on this morning. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Saturday. Advocates, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
To Evanston Cradle to Career Advocates for Action on Radio La Difference. Please tune in again next Saturday at 10 a.m. for another show.
You're showing us the way.